What's up, everybody? Welcome to the CanesInSight Daily Podcast powered by Anajar and Levine Evening Edition. Figured we'd do another one. We got practice tomorrow, so we'll be covering that from all angles. But there's a lot of news breaking since our last show and before all the practice stuff we're going to talk about. So I wanted to get into with my man Suave. You may know him from the Twitter spaces. You may know him from his hit single. You may know him from his art. Just an awesome dude, awesome Canes fan. He's been at practice as well, so he knows a little bit about what's going on, knows a little bit about a lot of stuff, man. So we'll talk to him. First, talk about some folks who definitely know a lot as Anajar and Levine accident attorneys. If you or someone you care about has been injured in an accident, you could be entitled to significant compensation. Dial 1-800-747-FREE, 1-800-747-3733. Take back control of your life with Anajar and Levine. All right, Suave, hop in. How we doing?
Hey, what's good, D?
The heavyweight champ. He's got the belt.
You
see
go Canes, go Canes, baby.
You see the artwork behind them. So we've gotten a million questions. I've been in studio as much lately where I have it behind me. I've been doing this from home, but when we do it in the studio, everybody always asks, where did you get that painting of the bat signal? And it's not just a painting of the bat signal. I mean, the bat signal is you, right? You are the artist behind the whole deal on top of the ones that you can purchase. So tell us a little bit before we get into other stuff, football related. Tell us a little bit about the Ibis.
We were it was a couple years ago, actually about a little over a year ago. We all get excited from the Twitter spaces, when the bat signal come out, all that good stuff. So I was just like, I got a graphic design background, video, film production background. So I said, let me get on the laptop and see if I could come up with my own. So I was like, whenever a bat signal come out, I just put my own up. So I did a couple runs and stuff. And it was like right around the start of, that AI, ChatGPT was jumping off. I forgot the name of the other one. Midjourney was jumping off. So I was like, I was dillying and dallying in there too. So I was like, man, I want to put a Sebastian, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, I'm gonna try to write a prompt and create my own Sebastian. And I'm a throwback Kane. So, I need the pipe, I need all the smoke. I was gonna put the scar on the face, but it wouldn't have looked right. So I was like, I'm gonna just throw it up there and see what happens. You know what I'm saying? And when I threw it up there, it went crazy. And then somebody hit me up and was like, hey, the back signal came out. Shout out Dennis Smith, man. The back signal was out, but it's your picture. I say, what? So, I guess a lot of people was going at Dennis Smith and his DMs like, hey, that's Suave's picture. I'm like, I don't care. He can use it. So he DM'd me and was like, hey, can I make this the official? I was like, heck yeah. All the guys in the coaching staff liked it. So I just, they ran with it. They tag me every time they drop it. So, I get my little visibility. So that's where the bat signal came from.
So you are the inventor of it, but also if someone wants to purchase it, we'll just talk about it. Like, this isn't even a spot. This is just doing a public service because everybody asks me this. This is probably the most asked question I get besides, who's starting a wide receiver is where can I get the bat signal painting? So yeah. Open Slate Apparel. It's OPEN Slate, SLAT, just like it sounds, apparel. And you get all this kind of merch. You get you got the whole deal right here, the coffee mug. And then, of course, you get your own bat signal, either the mug or the actual painting right there. So, all kinds of stuff you got going on. Yeah, I like the I Am Miami shirt. That's real nice right there. So, Open Slate Apparel, man. That's where they can find you, right?
Yeah, it's a link. If you go to my Twitter page, Cane City Cartel 2, there's a link pinned on my page. It's actually a Printify store. So it's Open Slate Apparel /Printify.com. And you'll get all the merch and stuff. So I got my Green Tree University merch and stuff. Those who know about Green Tree, that's what it is. And then I got the I Am Miami, and then I got the logo. So
you find out Twitter. I just search it, Open Slate Apparel, and it comes up. So you are the Open Slate Apparel. I don't think they've copied you yet. So that's the brand name, and you get all this stuff. Gmo he's producing from the chat right here. He's saying, ask Suave how the bat signal landed Cam Ward. Pretty cool story.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, a lot of people don't know that.
We'll hear
So
about it.
I only think a couple people know that. But so Dennis Smith, shout out D Train, you know what I'm saying? Um, you know, we cool and stuff. And I asked him, I seen him, the other day. I'm like, hey, how's the painting doing? Because I actually gave him his own painting. Since he used that as the official bat signal, I gave him his own. And this was like early on. And then I asked him, hey, how the painting going? He's like, man, I gave it away. And I'm like, okay. I say, well, I got another one for you. He's like, no, but I really want you to know it went for a good cause. And he said, I'm like, okay. So he told me who, the person who, he met and had a meeting with, concerning certain things with the Canes and acquiring talent and all that stuff. And he was like, they love the painting. And he was like, he gave it to them as a gesture. And in return, he got a big check. And that specific check was used for a specific player getting him here. So that specific player was Cam Ward. So you're welcome.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Canes Connection. Obviously, you can see the hat right there and everything we're doing. So Suave, we're gonna get into the football stuff, I promise.
Yeah.
So I had to talk to you because I seen you out there at the games with the big cigar. Just I think I saw you USF there celebrating a big win, and I've obviously seen you at practice. We'll talk some football stuff, but before we even get to that, I got to ask you about the song. I would play the whole thing right here, but we got a copyright on it. I thought it was from the Lil Wayne No Ceilings, the beat that you were using. You schooled me and told me it actually goes all the way back to Noriega in the 90s, but you had a freestyle kind of talking about all the drama you got going on Twitter Spaces, basically narrating the whole history of the Twitter Spaces. You gave me a shout out, which I appreciate, and D Train, the whole D crew. But yeah, man,
Jones just commented. That's another D. That was D Black.
There it is. Shout out D Black. And yeah, man, tell me about how the song came together, where people can find it, and just what led you to do the song. Anyone who's here could tell it's not your first rodeo in the studio.
Yeah, I used to do music back in the days, but I was just chilling, man. I'm the guy. I'm in the spaces, man. I'm just chilling, minding my business. You know what I'm saying? Trying to have fun, but I started getting a little bit. I was like, man, it's getting close to season time. It's getting close to the season. I need to shake it up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And straight up, I was like, man, I got a lot to talk about because it's been a lot going. This has been a long off season, D. When I say long off, it's been a lot going on. So I was like, let me do a recheck, like a recap of the off season, and that's really what I was doing. And I wanted to bring in the season with the schedule, going down the schedule and talking my stuff to everybody. So shout out to Fran Brown, man. Fran Brown actually commented on it and was like,
that was
cool
great
about it. So but yeah.
Yeah, he said what he said. He said it was actually tough. You were kind of going after him a little bit, but he had to acknowledge that it was pretty good.
I wouldn't be a real Miami fan if I didn't get after it, So,
hey man, that was awesome, man. Again, appreciate the shout out. Where can people find that, by the way? They haven't seen it yet.
It's on my page. I'll probably pin it here in a second, and then you go to my page on X. I don't got it nowhere else. It's just on X because I ain't, like you say, with the copyright and all that stuff. So I just got it on my page on X. If you go to Cane City Cartel 2, and you'll see it on there.
Oh, actually, here let me put the volume off so I don't get hit with this. But I want to show the actual visuals of it. The visuals were nice too. You did it was a real nice job right here. There you go. So it's a whole video. You had the belt you got right now.
Yeah. I'm in front of the rental, the Airbnb stadium we got that everybody like to say. You know what I'm saying?
And then there you go. There's Fran Brown.
Shout out to Fran Brown.
Yeah, man. So that was awesome. Everybody check that one out, man. That one, I showed my kids, man. They couldn't believe it. They're like, "Oh, Poppy, you're in the song, man. You're in a rap song."
Now,
like, yeah.
That thing went kind of viral. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, they loved it, man. I got a lot of respect for my kids. Finally, when you name dropped me on that one. So, getting some football stuff. Like I said, you don't just do the art aspect of it. You're around the program. I know you've had eyes on these guys in practice. I'm not going to ask you for too many specifics as far as like who did what in the scrimmage and all that kind of stuff, but just big picture. whether someone impressed you or just something that impressed you. What did you see when you were out there?
The energy. Since Mario been here, the energy, I watch it progressively get higher and higher every off season. I think, just it's another buzz, of energy with this group. I think a little bit more so than last season. A lot of dogs in the room, a lot of energy. So that's my thing. I read the room. I'm that type of guy. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I mean, people ask me about the practice, and I say, the first thing I say is when I talk to the people around, they're confident in the situation. And so it's things like that, like you mentioned, the energy just on the field, the confidence. I mean, these are things that people might hear and say, oh yeah, this is just kind of going like saying the old cliche, but these are real things that you could tell when it is different. So player wise, just a player or two that when you walked out of there, you're like, okay, I feel better about this young man.
I won't say the usuals,
Yeah.
Canes and those guys. Some guys that not too many people would, that I feel comfortable about. Joshua Moore, for sure. Malachi Tony, for sure. I like Shamar Brown. And the young defensive tackles. It's looking like it's looking like it's looking like a Miami defensive tackles.
Dante Simpson, I saw his family out there. He's someone that's getting a lot of hype, and I started it when when I first saw him in spring. I'm like, man, this guy's a lot better than I thought. Just looking at him moving around and how, just how the whole thing was put together. He didn't look like a 3-star. So, I would second you on all those, especially Josh Moore. Obviously, I think that's kind of that cat's out of the bag that he he's starting to make a move. And Malachi Tony, I told you when I saw you there, I'm like, listen, I've been out here every day. The consistency level of him to me is the difference maker, because you could flash, you could have a day, and you have another day where it's kind of quiet or inconsistent, and the little details aren't right. But when the details are right every time, the performance is right, the mindset is right, and it's every single day, and you're 17 years old,
right.
That's something that jumps out to me. So I want to get to the news of the day here, right? So the AP poll comes out. University of Miami starts number 10 in the preseason AP poll. Same thing really with the coaches poll, right? So Miami is basically what you would say is the consensus number 10 team in the country. I think the ranking makes a lot of sense when you look at the teams that are above them and the teams that are below them. It's nice you can still say, hey, it's top 10. Doesn't mean that much, right? I mean, we're talking about preseason ranking, but it's a sign of respect. It's a sign of what you've done in the past, how you've been recruiting. So when it comes to the preseason ranking, do you have any reaction to us being top 10 in the AP, top 10 in the coaches poll?
I have more reaction to the coaches poll than the AP. I think the AP people are seeing it and they're kind of understanding, what's going on, and that's just a shame because coaches usually a little bit more logical when it comes to ball and knowing, hey, this team's coming around. But we've seen in the past, a lot of coaches haven't really had respect for our program. So for us to be top 10 in the coaches poll actually raised my eyebrows a little more. The top 10 AP, like you said, looking at the teams right behind us, it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Consider what we're returning. Consider, the portal grabs, the portal ranking, and, just stacking the classes and, these projections, these, if you will, these, I guess you would say, draft stock projections. It kind of makes sense to me. I'm not mad at it. I don't think you can run from it now. You can't say, oh, we'd rather be back here and creep up on everybody. It is what it is, man. We're in big boy football territory now. So, we done built it. Now we got to compete with the big dogs and stand out front with the top 10s, So I'm for it. I'm ready for it. I wish Notre Dame was ranked higher. So when we face them, it's just be that much sweeter. You know what I'm saying? But I'm good with 10.
Yeah, and you are the company you keep, right? So, like you said, you're dealing with the big dogs in terms of recruiting. You're dealing with the big dogs in terms of just the spending, right? And then I think that's where your ranking sits. So, just looking at it, I mean, you got teams that were in the playoff last year: Texas, Penn State, Ohio State, Clemson, Georgia, Notre Dame, Oregon. So, all those teams were in the playoff last year. They're all blue blood, legitimate programs, at least programs that have been on top for a while. So I can't really argue with any of those. A lot of those teams have their quarterbacks coming back, or they got someone good in the hopper. The two that didn't make the playoffs that are ahead of us, you have Alabama and LSU. To me, Alabama brings back a lot of talent on defense. They had a really good defense last year. Ryan Williams, Jeremy Bernard, Isaiah Horton at receiver. I could see it. I could see why Alabama would be there. Their coach, even though he's a newer coach for Alabama, he's been in the finals or in the championship before. He's been one of the winningest coaches. So you give him that respect. Brian Kelly, another one, hasn't had the success lately, but someone you give the respect to. Killed it in the portal. They took in a lot of guys on both sides of the ball. Nussmeier comes back. I got no problem with that. Then you look behind Miami. Arizona State loses a lot. They lose Scadaboo. Illinois, kind of unproven. Carolina loses a lot. Michigan didn't have a great year last year. Florida, at 15, you saw what Miami did to those guys. So I'm very comfortable with that top 10 rating. And is there anything, I'll pull up the graphic right here, Suave. Anybody here jump out as you besides Miami as either like too high or too low? You were taking shots at a lot of these teams. I know you took some shots at our in-state rivals there on the song. But any of these logos jump out of you one way or the other?
They're really riding high on. I'm just being honest. They really riding high on Lagway with this 15 at Florida. I'm just being honest, man. I don't think they're there. They shouldn't be there. Let's see.
Yeah, Lagway, by the way, I don't think he's done anything yet. I mean, we're talking about August 11th, and he hasn't thrown. I mean, I wish him health. I like Lagway. I mean, I hate the Gators with a passion, but I have to respect his game and his ability. I would like him on the Canes, but if he's hurt, I don't see a surrounding cast that when you remove Lagway from the equation, or if you reduce Lagway to just like an average player and not an exceptional talent because he's hurt, I don't see the surrounding cast that's elevating like in Alabama. You got Ty Simpson. Ty Simpson is not, a sensational player. They just named him the starter today. Right. But I know around him, he's got a first-round left tackle. He's got an elite center. He's got great receivers. He's got a coach that knows what he's doing. So, and the defense is good. So I could see the pieces around a Ty Simpson I'm not worried about. But with the Gators, if Lagway is not Superman, I don't see what elevates him on that team.
I agree. I'm trying to see if I can find anything that looks a little bit more overrated or underrated. The top end is a crapshoot. I'm looking at Oklahoma, Illinois, Oklahoma, Indiana, A&M, the field basically. Ole Miss way up there. Shout out to Lane Kiffin.
That's the first thing I thought about when I heard that beat, the No Ceilings Noriega beat. That was a song that put him on the map for me, because then Lil Wayne was talking about him, talking all that in the song, and that was the first time you heard a college coach talked about that way in a rap song, at least me. So that I feel like that's when Lane Kiffin kind of was born, because he hadn't really done anything until that point aside from talk. He's done better now since then, but that Lil Wayne song, man, he owes him a check, because that one really put him on the map. Probably helped him in recruiting too.
Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna say everything looks like it should. I think Clemson, they earned their respect. Georgia, it's gonna be interesting to see how long they stay number 5, because I don't know, man. I think just me. This is just me thinking, and I said I'm big on energy, right? Culture means a lot, and it's just season after season things coming out of Athens, and it's not, you know what I mean? And hopefully they can keep it together for their sake, not for our sake. But I'm interested to see how long they stay at 5, because they're gonna probably get a week 1 win, but other than that, I want to see how they hold up against the field, Texas and those other guys. So we'll see.
Well, I'll say one thing about Georgia that jumps out right away, which is I just pulled up right now a mock draft, right? So these are early mock drafts. They're usually about like maybe they get hit, half of the guys correct. This is ESPN. I'm not saying it's totally accurate. This is Matt Miller. This is actually a couple months ago, but this is one of ESPN's draft analysts. He had Francis Mauigoa, number 2 to the New York Giants. He had Ruben Baden, number 7 to the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm not saying this was what's going to happen, but when you look at this mock draft, the only Georgia player on the list was C.J. Allen, the linebacker, who was down there at like 26 or something. And he's a good player, but he's a linebacker. Those guys don't get drafted typically too high. So, I'm used to seeing Jalen Carter. I'm used to seeing Jordan Davis. I'm used to seeing Brock Bowers. I mean, you're used to seeing Georgia 4 or 5 guys out there, at least in the mix. And to have only one who's a linebacker, who's probably not going to get drafted that high just off position, that tells me that their talent level has reduced. And then a quarterback, you're not even talking about Gunnar Stockton getting drafted down the road. He's really a game manager. So again, it's kind of like with Florida. If he's not going to be Superman, Lagway can be if he's healthy. Stockton's not going to be Superman. So what's around him that's going to really elevate him? I'm not sure I see it, man, especially with a tough year for Georgia last year on offense around Beck. Shout out to Mo Hussein saying, I heard Georgia made a racetrack around campus. So they need one, man.
They need one. I'll just to piggyback off of what you just said, and that's what I've been starting to see, just a dip in the I don't want to say the D word, development. You get all these big time stars coming in, you throw a bunch of money and resources at them, but you still got to coach them up. You still got to develop them. You still got to establish a culture to where they can be character guys at the end of their, you feel me? And all those ingredients matter. So yeah, you keep getting them big classes in. We seen what happened. We seen Jimbo get the class of the century, and what happened with those guys. You know what I'm saying? If the culture ain't I love where we at right now. That's all I want to say. I want to divert it back to Miami. I love where we at right now.
I'll say the D word to me is dollars, man. And I mean, it's more even now, and Georgia can't just play at a different playing field than everybody else like they were with, Saban learned the game. Kirby Smart learned it from Saban, and he had the money to do it. And now everybody's got money. So, I mean, you look at Georgia, their best pass rush. So Georgia lost a couple guys to the pros. Damon Wilson, who we know from Florida, he's from Venice. He's from the West Coast. I remember when he was a recruit, strong kid, really talented, 5-star, I believe. He was supposed to be the next pass rusher for Georgia. He was right there in line. They lost guys this year to the draft. He was going to step right in. He wasn't blocked. He wasn't like a backup. He was ready to start and be the guy. And then Missouri, who I don't even see on this list, came and paid enough money to get him from Georgia, a guy that was going to play, not a backup, the guy that was going to be their main pass rusher. So they had to go to like Army or something to get their main pass rusher. So it's changed a little bit when Missouri is just coming in here and saying, Georgia, your best defensive lineman, that's our best defensive lineman. Now that's a little different, I think. And I think I'm glad you circled Georgia, because as I'm just staring at him right there, I could see that one being one that maybe is like kind of how Alabama slipped and they didn't make the playoffs, and you're like, man, Bama didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah.
I could see that with Georgia. I think really Alabama, if I'm picking Alabama or Georgia here, based on what Alabama brings back, I like Alabama's talent more. D-line, receiver, defensive back. They got really good defensive backs. Obviously, we know the Caleb Proctor, left tackle. So, interesting group. Georgia's got to get their offensive line right. Carson Beck, man, we saw how he got beat up. What you saw from Carson Beck, by the way. So, again, we won't get specific throws or all that. Just your impressions. You've been around the block. Seeing Carson Beck, you were standing right there. I was right next to you. You're seeing what he's doing. What were your knee-jerk reaction to just seeing this guy playing, throwing the ball?
Cool customer. He looks comfortable doing whatever he wants to do. And whether it's, throwing, whether it's sitting back there going through his reads, he has a feel for You know, he got a feel in the pocket. If he wants to tuck it, he tucks it. He's very intentional, and I can tell he has a handle on this offense already. So he's cool. He's cool. He's laid back, like kind of like how we saw with I don't want to compare them, but you know, that almost like that unfazed vibe you get from Cam at times when you watch him back there. It's just unfazed. That's how I felt watching Carson. He's been there, done that.
And look, if you look at the quarterbacks here, so Arch Manning, I think is going to be good. Hasn't played. Julian Sain hasn't played. Gunnar Stockton, you know, back up to Beck. Notre Dame's quarterback hasn't played. Oregon's quarterback hasn't played. Alabama's quarterback hasn't played. So in the top 10, you're really talking about Klubnik, who when he faced off with a good player, kind of reminds me of Colt McCoy. When he faced off with Carson Beck in week 1, nobody was leaving that game saying K. Klubnik was better than Carson Beck. Not a soul.
Exactly.
Nussmeier, very similar stats to Carson Beck's down year last year. And then we're not even talking about Carson Beck's year when he looked like the number 1 overall pick. So I think that's a very comparable pair. And then Beck with more experience, 2-year starter. And then you look at Penn State, and Drew Allar's got a lot of talent, but it's not like Drew Aller has been throwing the ball all over the place.
Yeah, they're not slinging it all over the yard like that. So,
whereas if Carson Beck last year, where they had the 104th ranked rushing game, if he was handing it off to what Penn State's got, which is much more similar to what Miami's got, quite frankly. Miami was top 5 in yards per rush last year. Now it's a little different. So I think we're right there in the mix with these teams. Obviously, the teams, they deserve to be there. They're proven. They've done it over time. Miami's got to get back to that. But if you are the company you keep, I like all these logos here. Yeah, next to Miami in the top 10.
They're giving us a chance to show and prove. I say I'll take that 10 and show why I belong up in there. So no more time for being humble and running from what it is, man. We're in the nitty gritty with everybody else. So now it's time to kind of, double down and ride with the squad, man.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm happy we're in the top 10 just to say it, but at the same time, you're 10, so you're hungry. It's like it's like the nice little mix. You could say it, but you're not there where you're tumbling. You're trying to climb up that top 10 and starting with number 6, Notre Dame, taking that spot and possibly climbing into that top 5. So the other big news story here of the day is a little different one, but we were talking about Canes Connection earlier. I got the hat. I have to talk about this. So Dana White was on Pat McAfee. UFC just signed like a $7 billion something deal with Paramount to stream their pay-per-view, something crazy. And Dana White, they're asking where he's at. And he was actually at the University of Miami because he's dropping his daughter off to be a student at the University of Miami. I think they looked like they were at the Thesis Hotel from what I could see. So you're talking about one of the most famous promoters, the most famous promoter right now with Vince out the game. There's no boxing promoter like that. He's the most famous promoter in the world. And right away he goes, I'm going to Notre Dame, which is going to be cool to see. That's just good visual, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to Notre Dame. He goes, I'm a Miami Hurricane now. And then right away, Pat McAfee started talking about NIL. He's like, hey, man, don't pay Miami. Don't pay for Carson Beck. Pay for West Virginia, whatever, messing around. But, I like that. Miami is, whether you like the person or not, I like him. I've been a UFC fan. I like what he's done. I like the way he's built the brand. But the fact that you got these kind of people promoting the school, and they can go anywhere in the country, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Shout out to, American Top Team down here, they're knee deep in the NIL with us with Miami, So the MMA community already, showing love to the school. So, Dana White, the king of this shit. Oh, my bad. The king of this.
You're good.
That check will look nice too. So, let's do it. Dana, let's do it. I'll put you in a song. I don't care.
By the way, that's why I call you Suave with the transition. You're smooth. I didn't even think about that. Shout out to American Top Team. Shout out to Dan Lambert. Dan Lambert, man, the man. People don't realize how much of a cane this guy is. The owner of American Top Team. Yeah. If you see Mario going on the private jet to ACC Media Day, whatever it is. That's Dan Lambert most of the time.
Oh,
And he was a big wrestling guy too. I know he'll do a promo from now and then. He's got like all the belt, like the belts you have. He has like Ric Flair's belt from back in the day, NWA. He's got like Harley Race's belt. You name it. He like Briscoe Brothers. He's got all the old school belts. Bruno Sammartino, man, he's got the whole collection. He's got like a whole room of belts. So shout out to Dan Lambert. And yeah, man, like I think what you're seeing with is crazy. It's like, I guess because the influencers and stuff are getting so much hype out of like Alex Earl, which I'm not on Instagram like that. So this is not something I'm that familiar with, but right. I'm learning how big it is.
It's huge.
Now you got, a lot of, I think Bezos' stepdaughters out there.
Yeah.
We know Trump's granddaughter's out there. Who else is out there? Just as far as these like very rich, what's his name? Manuel I think the guy who owns the UFC, like Endeavor.
Yeah.
I think his granddaughter, his daughter, something's out there. So, they got, regardless of what you think about all these people, it's the clout and it's the brand awareness. And this is only a good thing. It's not only NIL. I think it's just, hey, when you're going to, if that Notre Dame game is what we think it's going to be, you're going to be out there, by the way?
What? Tailgate of the century. Pull up, man. I got you.
I appreciate it. No, we'll have a fun time out there. I figured you'd be out there. But anyway, so
I'm going to every game this season. Every single
you're
game.
doing the road games too?
I already secured every game. You're
going to be bundled up out there in Pittsburgh and Virginia Tech?
I'm going to have my hoodie on, man. Let's do it.
So here you go. O says, my sister works in the business school. U is definitely having a moment. So there you go. Yeah, my wife teaches at UM. That's like my big UM connection. She's my spy on the ground. And yeah, it's like that's what's going on is UM is just blowing up. The Rock, obviously, someone mentioned that he's on the board that owns WWE and UFC. What I'd like to see is, you remember when I don't know if it was Virginia Tech or was a Notre Dame game. Might have been Virginia Tech for this particular moment where like you had J-Lo and A-Rod in the suite and J-Lo had the turnover chain and all that.
Yeah, I remember that.
We need something like that for this Notre Dame game. It's going to be super loud. It's the first game, have all these people in the crowd just kind of showing what Miami can attract and make it kind of like a LA Lakers type of deal. You know what I mean? Where you have celebrities out there and people know if you're watching it on TV, you're like, hey, that's where I want to be. It's not the half empty, Middle Tennessee State that the kids look at and they say, I'm not trying to be part of that. It's something that they actually care about.
Number one, it's Miami. We've seen it with the Heat. We've seen all the stars and all that stuff. We've seen it at some Canes games and certain events at the Hard Rock. Yeah, let's bring that back, man. We already got the players coming back. Michael Irvin, man, shout out to the playmaker all season, last season, going crazy on the sidelines. We already bringing all the nostalgia back. Let's go ahead and ramp it up another notch because I'm telling you, the brand is the brand, and I don't want to talk too crazy on your show, but
no, talk crazy.
Let's go, man. ACC championship, playoff, whatever it takes. You know where the Natty is this season.
No, where is it?
Hard Rock.
I'm trying to worry about what's happening tomorrow morning.
Hard Rock.
I'm worried about getting to practice tomorrow. I'm not even looking ahead. Where's the Natty at? I didn't want to jinx it. Did you hear?
Hard Rock.
Really? This year?
Yes.
Man, I should have known that. Oof.
That's why I'm like, I don't want to go too crazy, but man, hey, this would be the perfect storm, man. The universe in right now. You know what I'm saying? Let's go, man.
Canes Jones saying, Swab, the needle mover. What's up, guys? Hey, we got almost 1,500 on the show right now, man. So appreciate that's what you do, Swab, man. You bring the people together.
Let's go.
1,500 on a random Monday night. We don't even got like a news really going on, and you're out here bringing the people in. But yeah, man, I'm feeling the energy, and I think if you start the season with a big win, with all the people in the crowd, like this was on Pat McAfee's show. Pat McAfee was throwing up the U. Obviously, he's a West Virginia fan, but like just kind of like recognizing the brand, talking to Dana, joking around. It's like this thing can get so much momentum, man, so fast. I
heard today that Jalen Ram. I'm hearing every day about another person who loved the U. Like Jalen Ramsey was a big U fan growing up. I didn't know that. Yeah,
I did that story. That's probably where you saw it. I put out that thing this morning about the class of 2013 and kind of.
I did see that.
Yeah, now I mentioned because Jalen Ramsey was in the class of 2013, And he said Miami kind of was slow playing him. He was a 5-star, and when it was all said and done, went to Florida State, killed us in that 2014 game. Remember, he was the best player on the field, him and Dalvin Cook. We should have won that game. We were up big. We had like that long touchdown to Clive Walford. And then
imagine we could have had both of those guys. Oh my God.
Yeah, that Dalvin Cook, man, that was 3 games he cost us. 14, 15, 16. Those were all close games.
I think that was games we win them all. Itself, right? Wasn't that 16 where he just beat us by himself?
100%. And really, I mean, all of them. I mean, 15 was the one where we were up in tally, and Rashawn Scott had like a bunch of yards. Yeah, and we should have won that one too. And he got it. He got us all 3. Yeah, he got us all 3, man. So yeah, he killed us on that one. That was a tough one, man. But anyways, Suave, man, listen, almost 1,600 on for a random show.
Shout out to all my people, man. You know, I was in a space earlier, so you know they got wind of it. I seen G-Mo and Canes and all those boys. They got wind of it, so they came on over, man. Shout out to all the people, man. You know, CanesInSight, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Canes Unfiltered, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to the members, you know what I'm saying? And no shout out to all those other fake spaces that, you know, that always talk about the Canes, but they're not real Canes.
Well, explain the spaces, by the way, for those who don't know, because I didn't know about it. My guy Chance Mack, he's like, you know, former Canes outfielder. He is the instigator in chief. He's just always going to the spaces. He didn't really talk, you know, even though he's kind of Cane celebrity. He's always just kind of going to the spaces, texting people, hey, they're talking about this in the spaces. They're talking about this in the spaces. So that's how I found out about the spaces. Once I got in there, I'm addicted just because it's like it's just talk radio, man. It's like it's the stuff you guys get into cracks me up. I'm usually at my burner, but sometimes I'll go in there and talk. I got to go in there this week.
You got to be on that burner. It'd be crazy in there. You got to watch out. You know.
Hey, listen. We can handle ourselves out there, man. We're not rookies to this. We don't get too emotional. What was that guy, the Gator NIL guy that was running the collective that got drunk and was out there popping off and got in trouble?
Yeah, I don't want to say his name in front of family and friends.
Yeah. But where can they find space? Like, what's up with this? Like, we're talking about it, like we know, like someone who doesn't know what the spaces are, and find you on your account, and everything else.
On X, if you on X, formerly known as Twitter, Spaces, you'll see when you press the button to post or whatever, you'll see Spaces. You hit that, it'll take you to different spaces. Those are like community chat groups, but instead of texting, you're speaking. It's like open mics, everybody speaking, and you can talk about anything. You got categories: politics, sports, entertainment, whatever. So we are in the sports category. You know, you got different Canes groups that you can come in and listen. We may be talking about everything under the sun, or we may be talking about strictly football. We may be talking about practice, or you know, schedule, or whatever, recruiting. We may have recruits in the spaces. We have players' parents and players come into spaces at times. We've had staff members come into spaces. Alonzo Highsmith, Mario one time. Like, you know, we've had people come into spaces and, you know, shout out. They'll come in and say a couple things, and or we do little quick Q&As and then get them out of there. So yeah, if you want to get in there, just kill some time. You might be at work and can listen. You know, the spaces is crazy. Now, hey, disclaimer, sometimes it can take a turn. You know, some characters in there, and the, you know, the conversation may go left real quick, but it should come right back. You just got to be patient. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, those spaces get kind of crazy. But it ain't for the faint of heart. You know, you got to be, you know, grown up to handle that, because the fandom is crazy. So, you know, it can be multiple fan bases in one space just shouting for 30 minutes, going crazy. So, you know, that's the spaces.
It was Canes Cat saying the best space was when Jalen Waters' dad was going off at 2 a.m. on some Gator fans.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember one time I gotta give a shout out to my boy Drummond, Genron, one of the original. He used to have the best music. He used to cut up these high school recruiting clips. I remember it was like I think it was like Tommy Streeter. It was in the Northwestern class, and he had the best YouTubes. He'd put on, what was the I always forget the name. The 2 Chainz before he was 2 Chainz. Player Circle.
Boy, Titty Boy.
No, before that, when he was in the group, Player Circle.
Oh yeah, Player Circle. Duffel Bag Boy.
Drummond would put that on. It was like Sean Spence or whatever, all those Northwestern guys. Like, man, we're gonna win a championship, man. He got me so hyped with those videos. But you pull up the spaces, he'll be talking about anime. He'll be talking about like the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Is like, man, I don't know of all the people, man. He's one of the most unpredictable dudes in that chat, Drummond. So shout out to everybody, man. I really crack up nonstop on that one.
Hey, he got a newborn, just turned 6 months. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Drummond. He'll be at all the games too. So
hey, congrats to him, and yeah, man, this is fun, man. I'm glad you joined. I think this is the first like late night live we've done. I just I had my kids' baseball practice. Yeah, coming home. Usually I'd be trying to spend some family time, but we got Canes football. It's August, family time gets cut down.
It's time, man. Hey, I'm so excited. Hey, I'm so man. That seeing the scrimmage, I kind of confirmed a lot of things for me. I'm happy. I'm good. We're in a good place. I'm so excited for this season, man. When I tell you I'm finna be so obnoxious on this Twitter space and Twitter and X and social media, because we've been humbled way too long. We've been sitting back, taking shots from everybody in the nation, throwing the U down, writers not respecting us, coaches not respecting us. Hey, I'm telling you, August 31st, bear witness. And it's going to be up from there, man. That's all I'm going to say.
Let me ask, though, do you have, like, the other notepad going, or you have a little, like, a bar here, a bar there, and you're just like, let me just wait till the opportunity to put these together? Like, are you already kind of taking notes and jotting stuff down to kind of get ready for if things go the right way, that you're going to be able to move quick?
I just need a good hour, a nice stiff drink, and a beat. And it's all gonna come out. Y'all gonna see the remix coming soon, man. Y'all check out if y'all ain't hear the song, check out the song. I'm gonna pin it after we get off. I'm gonna pin it on my page at Cane City Cartel 2. The merch is also on my page. A quick link, or you can type in Open Slate Apparel. It'll be the Printify link, so y'all can get the merch there too. And hit me up, man. Follow me, I follow back. Coming to this, if you follow me, you'll see the spaces. Coming to the spaces. I hosted one, and man, we kept at least 400 people in there the whole day. Well, I'm talking about hours. When I was done, it was over 1,400. So shout out to all the other space people who host spaces. Man, it's a lot of Canes fans, man, and it's a lot of haters too. They'll be in there listening. They won't grab a mic, but they'll be in there listening.
That's the best part, man. And obviously we saw what happened last year. So they've been sitting on those double-digit, 3 touchdown defeats. You know what I mean? So they've been living with that for a while. Let's see if they get their courage up here with I don't know what's going to get their courage up. FSU, you can't even tell what's going on there. UF, their quarterback threw one pass that I've seen, so I don't know what they're holding on, but they'll get something. Oh, hell, Raul Garcia is saying, I went to the Canes store. People need to be reminded, 20% off by saying CanesInSight. That's right, 20% off. CanesInSight 20 online at MiamiHTS.com, and in the store, just say CanesInSight. 20% off. New shoes coming in next week.
You ain't tell me that, man. I've been spending so much money with them. Hold on, let me write this down.
Watch the show, man. I say that thing like I breathe.
I be at work when you be on, and I be just trying to listen for the nuggets because I jump in and out the truck. But now I know. Hold on.
There it is, man.
The online is what? What's the online?
Insight 20% off your first item, and if you're in the store, just say CanesInSight, and they'll know what to do. They'll give you 20% off. Shout out to Jeremy. Shout out to Harry. Shout out to the whole team at the Miami Hurricane team store. Johnny Lagoon, baby's coming. Baby's there. Sorry, baby's got a whole new wardrobe. Or let me say it again. Baby's coming next month. Whole new wardrobe from the team store for Johnny Lagoon. Shout out to Mrs. Lagoon. Make sure you treat her well. That's the key. The key to the newborn baby is not the baby, it's the wife. It's not anything an adult man can do with the baby. You got to take care of the wife. That's the one thing I've learned. That's the one wisdom I learned in life is newborn baby, Forget the baby. The baby's not going anywhere. You're not going to do anything to that baby as a grown up. You know, no milk's coming out of here. Focus on the wife. That's the lesson I learned in my life. Shout out to Kellen Wiley, man. I'm ready to see Wiley Jr.
Hey,
busting
Mr.
heads
Wiley,
tomorrow.
I saw your son. I spoke to him, talked to him about the about the scrimmage, and I asked him, did you make it down? And he told me he didn't make it down, but I can't wait to meet you, man. Notre Dame, if you're down here, hit me up. You be in the spaces, you already know. Big tailgate, man. Tailgate of the century, man. I'm telling you right now. Tomahawks on deck, man.
Let's go.
Tomahawk steaks on deck.
Yeah, they're serving gator. Last time I saw everybody. You guys, were you there at the tailgate?
Yeah.
That Jay and Gmo had. I call it the gates of heaven. That was the pearly gates, man. It was like a white little like moonwalk thing. You know what I mean?
Let me say this now. Category 6, Jay and Gmo, they're sponsoring that tailgate. Notre Dame, tailgate of the century. I'll handle all the meat and all that stuff, but come on down. It's sponsored, everything good. Just come on down, man. Shout out to Jay and Gmo, man.
Oh, Jay, man, I'm calling Jay James Bond from now on, man. The guy's I see him walking around. He's got like cameras in his glasses. You know what I mean? He's always on the phone with Gmo, but you don't see it because he's not talking on a cell phone. He's just talking to himself, and he's connected to something. So I'm calling him James Bond, man, because he's got contraptions. He's in every single country. You know what I mean? I got my eye on Coach Jay. He's a secret agent or something going on.
And for the home Florida game, I think we're gonna have 2 Gators. That's what Jay told me. So it'll be home. Come on down, take a pic, one for show and one for whatever. So yeah, we're gonna keep them Gators cooking.
Love it. All right, so you know where to go. Open Slate Apparel. Check out all the stuff that my guy Suave is doing. Appreciate you joining us, man. This was fun. We got to do this one again.
For sure.
The championship belt. They're not taking that one from you. Like and subscribe. Almost 1,800 on. If you're new, if you're from the spaces, we're on all the time. Like and subscribe to the show. There you see it. Let's
see the dates. Yeah.
To be the man, you got to beat the man.
Yeah. Get your lit back. Come get your lit back, Notre Dame. Come get your lit back, Florida State. We'll come see you at Hard Rock North.
Let's go, baby. Go Canes.
Go Canes.